Welcome back to Friends Like Us podcast review and preview. I'm Marina Franklin, and this is
Evelyn Frick.
Yay! You know what's funny? I would love to play music, but the last time I don't know if you knew this, but the
Oh,
last time we played Prince, they blocked the whole video.
oh, really?
And then
That's
with Vanessa Fraction, when we had her on and she had just her Instagram playing with R.
yeah.
Kelly in the background, they were gonna block that, so I had to, they give you this option where you can mute the music
Okay.
and still keep the talking, and it did it, which was so
Wow,
crazy, yeah.
that is wild. Oh, it's so annoying.
I guess it's so funny when they wanna be like, these are the rights, music rights, you
Mm,
don't and I get that, this is property of someone else's, and I
yeah.
get that, but it's mayhem right now.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
On TikTok,
Oh, yeah, people, yeah, just like use whatever they want.
it's like, good luck, you
Yeah.
know? I mean,
Also,
they've been yeah.
well, I was just gonna say that like stuff with like TikTok that can get like a million views. I doubt like we have a really nice following for this, but we don't get a million views. Like I don't
Yeah,
think
but
it's
but
different.
it's kind I guess they wanna make money off of like, you used
Mm,
to have to pay royalties
yeah.
for someone to use your product,
Yeah.
you know? But, like, they've been using my stand-up all over the place, and I don't mind
Oh.
it. I mean, I'm like, "Go ahead, but tag me."
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That's what
That's
I say. I say,
important.
"Just tag me, just give me credit for what obviously, you're not saying it.
Yeah.
You're lip syncing to me." And
Yeah, you didn't write it.
there's one that went viral where I go, "This is black girl magic." I
Oh, I
say,
think I
"Oh,
saw
I got older. Oh, wait, I'm older than I look. I'm
mhm.
black, so you never go." No, that's my black girl magic. Yeah. And so everyone's using it, and it is so funny to see like people like with huge followers not tag me. I'm like, now you have
Yeah.
a lot of followers, so you should know how to
Oh,
do
they
this.
definitely know.
I
It's like
can't.
it's a choice at that point.
It's a choice. I can't blame people who have like very that just
Yeah,
feel inspired. I don't blame
yeah.
them. I get it.
Oh, no, yeah. Because also, yeah, they're just doing it because, like, they really, like, enjoy your comedy and, like, enjoy, like, the bits you do. The people, like, who do it with large followings and don't tag, it's like they know what they're doing.
They do.
They do.
I should Let me put my chat up. Hi, everybody. We're
Hello.
here.
We are.
How was your week, Evelyn?
It was good. Yeah, the media company that I work for, we're starting like our Olympics coverage. So
Oh,
just a
our guest
lot.
is here. Sorry, I don't want to interrupt you.
Oh no, yeah. So
But he'll
we.
yell at me if I don't add him. So continue talking.
Oh,
Do
sure.
not let him interrupt you.
Okay.
Okay, everyone, we're bringing back on Dave Juskow. Get ready, okay? Okay, continue, Evelyn.
Oh,
Do not let him
okay.
interrupt you.
Okay. Yeah. So we're doing our Olympic coverage. So hello, Dave. I was just saying, Marina asked how my week has been. So I was just saying that I don't know if I work for a media company now. So we're doing Olympic coverage on like it's a Jewish media company. So basically, like trying to find as many Jewish athletes as that are competing and just doing profiles on them. And I might be interviewing one coming up. So that's a very exciting thing for me.
That is exciting.
Yeah, yeah, it's actually his name is Jake Hoyle. He's an Olympic like epee fencer for the
Ooh.
USA men's team. Actually, I went to college with his brother, which is how I like am able to do because I kind of like pitched the story. I was like, oh, I could probably get connected to him.
Wow.
But yeah, so it's really exciting and very cool to learn about all these Olympic athletes and some sports that I didn't really know about. Like race walking is a sport in the Olympics, which I think it's new.
Oh, no, Dave Juskow created it. Welcome
Really?
to the show, Juskow. I told her, I said, do not let him interrupt you. And you didn't. And I'm shocked. We can't hear you. That's why.
That's why.
His hello? No, we heard that we can hear like that it's not connected though because we can hear you go. It's like a speaker issue. Go to the where it says mute on the thing and look at where your settings are. Sometimes it resets. Make sure it's set to your microphone. It's weird. Like we almost hear you.
Yeah, I hear like an echo.
You hear me now?
Yeah, now we hear you.
Yeah, it wasn't set to the right microphone.
Yeah, you can sometimes it's the platform they do that.
Well, I wasn't going to interrupt anyway, but I didn't know we were coming. I was just coming on early because I know you like me to come on early. I didn't know we were already on, so I got confused anyway. I was going to keep my mouth shut until 3 anyway. I was going to.
Oh, were you?
Well, I was just trying. I know you like when I come on early.
Can you?
Not really. No, I have trouble. I was just going to get some more coffee so I could talk more.
Tamara, hey Tamara, she's saying to you, Evelyn, that's a great piece and it's everywhere.
Evelyn, I could probably help you. One of my friends works for the Olympics. He's been working for them for years. Yeah. He interviews everybody, like pole vaulters, all the stuff. He knows all those people you just said that you're just meeting. Like he knows all those people we've never heard of before. I had him on my podcast once, and I've known him since I was a little kid. He's lives in Prague.
Oh, wild.
Yeah, he works for the Olympics for years.
That'd be great. Yeah, because like what I'm doing right now, like during the week, I'll just be like Googling like people's names and like Jewish question mark because there's so many. It's like there's some with like names that you can like tell, oh, that's like a Jewish last name, but then there are others where it's like it's almost to the point where it feels like a little bit like anti-Semitic, where I'm like I'm looking at their faces and their names and being like, do I think
and why do they have to be Jewish? What you're working? It's a
I
Jewish.
work for a Jewish media company, so we just like want to highlight different Jewish athletes.
Is that?
Why are you laughing?
Because it's like that joke in the movie Airplane where they're like, well, would you like a magazine? No, like, well, how about this leaflet on famous Jewish sports legends? I mean, that's got to be a very limited source.
It's I mean, well, you'd be surprised.
I'm not laughing at this.
Well,
I am.
We have a bunch of profiles that are coming out like this coming week, and we've already published, I think, about like 5 and have quite a few more.
Jewish people aren't good at sports.
Well, apparently they're getting better.
Well, I guess there is an Israeli team, so I guess there must be some.
The fast walkers, what do you call it? Race walking?
Race walking, yeah. Which, I mean.
Yeah, but that's not about what. That's actually race. They're talking about race, like diversity when they're walking. That's what it is.
Like, get me out of this neighborhood.
Right. It's Dave Juskow walking through Harlem with his friend Marina.
Marina's not here yet. Speaking of race, hello. I want to say hello to Tamara Payne. Hello, Justin Swift. I want to welcome everyone. We are we always start early for this Friends Like Us preview review with friends that we know because
I didn't know. I'm sorry. I would have come in earlier. I didn't realize.
Oh, no, you were fine. You were fine. It's very laid back. I mean, compared to the podcast, if you want a more formal experience, just go to the podcast. It's very well produced. This week we had Jessica Kirsten on.
Why?
Excuse yourself. What do you mean, why?
She's one of the worst comics I've ever seen.
And this is a joke, everybody.
Is it?
Yes.
Yes, it is.
Jessica Kirsten, who produced Hysterical, which I was in. Jessica Kirsten, check her out. It was a great. We talked about anti-Semitism.
I was in it too.
Huh?
I was in it too.
Oh, you were in Hysterical. You were at the table for like a split second.
Yeah, with you.
Yeah, it was funny. Oh, thank you, Tibby. Thank you for saying, yeah, I managed to remember you start early. Thank you so much. Do you still work? Tibby, I think it's who I think it is. I feel like you're the same person that worked at the Virginia Comedy Club. Am I wrong? I don't want to get it wrong. Okay. But welcome, everybody. Welcome back. And we do this. It's very laid back. You know, we just want to engage and talk to our audience and see what you guys are doing and what's up. And I will say really fast, because we were talking about race walking, and Evelyn, congratulations on that. I think that's so cool. Just the fact that you do you write articles, like where do you put your commas? Like, do you get nervous about that, or does someone else like go
I mean,
through
I
it?
definitely get. I mean, like, there's a. I have an editor, so like she like
Okay.
has like the final look through and like will fix any grammatical things. But I definitely do like get a little bit nervous about it.
I
'Cause, like
which gets
I was an English major in college, so I should I should know where things go. But
I've been a horrible writer, and I had a couple of things published because it started when Maxim magazine came out. Evelyn, you're probably too young, but there was, in the early 2000s, there was a magazine called Maxim. It was a men's magazine, but it wasn't Playboy, but it was like they didn't get naked, but they had girls.
Okay.
And so the beauty was, and I was never a good writer, is that they asked me to write a couple articles because with Maxim you could write like you speak. So I was able to just write kind of a way and then send it off and they'd understand. But it's I could never, because then I started getting other gigs and these people would be like, what, how did you get a job writing for Maxim? And I'm like, well, I don't know, because they would read that and it'd come back with all red check marks. And they're like, you're like the worst writer we've ever seen. And I'm like, well, it's different over there. It's so obvious that I could never write for Time magazine or the New York Times. But Maxim was like, and then I saw this girl and I said, what's up? And she was cool with that. And like, you could just write that way.
Why are you always Vinnie Barbarino?
Because it makes me happy talking like it. I don't know. I just watched a video. I just recorded my podcast and I played this whole thing where he was on the American Bandstand in the 70s before he was like anybody. And they're like, so I heard you have a new movie coming out. He goes, yeah, it's like this disco movie, where I'm the king of the discotheques. He's talking about Saturday Night Fever. That kind of stuff excites me when like nobody knows what it is. I'm also in this movie called Carrie. It's a Stephen King novel.
Ooh, he was great in that movie.
Yes, but it's funny when it hasn't come out yet and we don't know it. These become classic movies. And he's just talking about it as if it's just like, yeah, my next project should be good. It's about this ship that sinks. It's called Titanic. I don't know if you heard of it.
Oh, that's so funny. That
like
is
the preambles of classic stuff like that when somebody's on TV talking about it.
That's cool. I love that. Yeah. Not to move away from that because that was very, very good. No, it's good because I always think that's like a great segue in like stand up to say something like very David Tell-ish too. Like David Tell always, I was watching him recently at the Stand Comedy Club. He performs also at the Comedy Cellar everywhere. But he was on stage and his references, there's so many. It's just so brilliant when they come in. I'm always like, oh my God. Like,
and sometimes he just brings out references if he knows certain people are in the audience. I mean, that's what's even more amazing.
Does he?
Yeah, he'll make fun of friends that I know that he knows I know that nobody's going to know.
Oh,
and he says it in just the right way where the audience won't be like, who's that? And, I'll get a big laugh out of it.
Oh, man.
He's just so good at drawing from his memory. It's fascinating.
It is fast. Like, is that like an Easter egg kind of like Easter egg in an act?
We call it. Yeah, exactly. That's true. We call it autism as well. It's amazing the way he's able to pull. Remember, he can pull some of his old jokes when he needs to out of his ass. There's just no other way to put it. I mean, it's fascinating, because as when we see him at the Comedy Cellar at 1 a.m. on a Tuesday, he is giving us 20 minutes of new material we may never hear again, which is what makes him a comics comic, and ironically doesn't come off as well on a television special as it does in that little hole.
Isn't that weird? It's
very weird.
Why hasn't there been like a director that has figured that out for stand-up?
Well,
how to get the individual performer who's different styles to translate across the screen.
It's almost impossible. I mean, people have tried, I would say I'm talking about Attell in general, but there's plenty of people we know that are so amazing live and for some reason doesn't translate on television. And it's impossible to know. I mean, there'd have to be some sort of visionary director, but it just might not ever work. There's something about seeing a person like Attell, in this small cavern at 1 a.m. that just doesn't seem, for his television specials aren't the same.
They
It's
should
the energy,
capture it.
it's the magic. Well, the closest they got was him and Jeff bumping mics, maybe. And it's still not the capturing of what we all know, seeing him live with no cameras and just sitting there on a late night Tuesday. It's really the way probably Bob Dylan was discovered, and people like him, in the early 60s in New York.
Sorry.
That's the way I feel. It's one of the reasons I actually say to myself, because I always lately I've just wanted to leave the city.
Really? You haven't left?
Not yet, but on a night like that, I say this is the reason I moved here, to see this, thing, and the audience is there and they get it. But It is funny that the bigger picture audiences, there are people that know that Dave Attell is the greatest comic maybe ever. And then, like if Chappelle knows it, Chris Rock knows it. You know what I'm saying? The best.
Well, Richard Pryor's to me the best.
Well, for me, it's still Attell, right? But Richard Pryor's for a different reason, for another kind of groundbreaking, that there would be no Dave Attell without Richard Pryor or George Carlin or people like that. But we all our friends that are the hugest of huge know that Dave Attell is the shit. But yet the regular comedy public might not know. People that know comedy know Dave Attell. But I talk about it all the time, and I hate the guy too. But
they know you're back. They're talking to you. They say Juskow is back. He mentioned autism. Is he talking about Jerry Seinfeld? Because Seinfeld is autistic.
Yeah, he's probably autistic too. He's whatever he is. It's not normal. But then normal for us is like you and me. We're friendly people.
Oh, Jonathan really? Katz over David. Well, Dave likes both of them. Dave Juskow likes both of them.
I do, but I would always take Attell over Katz. I mean, if you're talking comic to comic and the kind of energy that comes out, I mean, Katz has no energy, but that's the fun of him too. He's more like Bob Newhart. But
TK Kirkland.
But you and I, Marina, are like, we're friendly people. We meet people, we talk to them, we know how to function in a society, whereas Seinfeld just doesn't. He doesn't like to shake hands. He's not a friendly guy. His show is ridiculously the best ever, the sitcom, and his stand-up is okay, but he's not a friendly guy. So sometimes that comes off as just autistic, which I can see.
Oh, I have on my cooling shawl. Did you see that? It's because I'm having a hot flash. I actually bought a neck fan for any of those of you out there that are experienced.
Oh, so he mentioned he was on the autism spectrum. That makes sense. So
I have on my neck. I'm going to get my
neck fan. Remember I told you that lady that I know invented those pearls?
Oh, you did tell me that.
Yeah. She just left the building during COVID.
Ooh.
Did I tell you when I was opening for Rachel in Boston, I met Chris Taub?
Oh, yes. So, Evelyn, you remember when we did the virtual online show, the guy that was so sweet that I was messing with? Yeah. So he came to the show with.
I guess he lives in Massachusetts.
Okay.
Yeah, so I was at what's it called, Laugh Boston, and he did a set, and he was great. Great guy, super guy.
He seemed really funny.
Really funny and nice.
Yeah.
And he did the show. Yeah, that was so sweet. Oh, Tibby is saying, I love my neck fan too. I use it when the school bus is hot because it's an older model and no air conditioning.
I remember those little air conditioners. Yeah. Those little fans in a school bus.
So let me just say this real fast. I have a rant just for a quick moment.
You have a rash?
No, a rant. I should just rant. But I go to the farmer's market every Saturday, right?
I didn't know that.
How could you not know that?
I don't know. I'm afraid when you leave the house. You know how I feel about that neighborhood.
So. Well, what's funny is Juskow used to come, and just so you all know, he's joking, but he also used to come to my neighborhood to pick me up when I was getting radiation treatment, and he would stand downstairs nervously. I would always come out, and he'd be like trying to listen to. I guess he was listening to Howard Stern at the time, and I was like, "It's gonna be okay. I'm here." But he was like,
well, I think they all thought I was a cop anyway, so I don't know whether that's good or bad at this point. So
there's so many white people in the neighborhood though now that no one thinks about it. And like, speaking of this morning, this happened. Oh, I heard my tooth on the microphone. This morning I was walking by and it was just like white people were trying to get coffee and they were outside doing their morning thing, and this crazy guy was like shouting. He's like, motherfuckers. He's like, oh, y'all motherfuckers need to listen. And it's just so funny because it's like they're trying to act like it's just normal, like a normal neighborhood, which is having coffee in the morning outside, enjoying the beautiful day. And he's like, oh, y'all motherfuckers better listen up. Because I'm telling you, and everyone just kept doing what they were doing. I was so concerned for them. I was like, listen, this is going to escalate.
Yeah.
Okay? Don't act like in this situation, not locking eyes is the only thing you like. Move.
That's what I would have done. I wouldn't have thought it would have escalated.
Oh, it was going to escalate. Oh.
I guess you just hope it's going to go away.
And I walked past him and I was like, yep, you're right. Yep. And then
Marina's going to help him escalate.
I was like, yep, you got some good points, brother. And then I went to the farmer's market.
Where's that like how far away is that from your house?
It's 7 blocks.
Oh, 7 blocks.
7 blocks down.
Oh, good. I'm so afraid to go up. Look, you even told me when we would walk home, like, let's not go down this block. So
well, no, there are some areas that you do have to be careful, but all of New York is like that now.
Oh,
I mean,
true. That's
seriously,
true.
it's like,
Yes,
forget
right.
about it.
But again, I'm coming from the mindset of the 80s and stuff. So.
Yeah, no, it's not safe anywhere right now in New York. You have to keep your eyes behind your back and on your head.
Washington Square Park is bad. Yeah. But
I go to the farmer's market and I go to get like my microgreens, and I'm standing there and I have eye contact with the guy behind the counter, and this woman just kind of cuts in front of me. She grabs strawberries. I don't touch anything, by the way, because it's COVID still. And I go, I don't touch. That was the rules. You don't touch anything. You don't grab anything. So I'm just waiting for them politely to serve, to ask me what I want. She just goes and grabs the strawberries. She's a white woman, grabs the strawberries, and they take care of her right away. Now, I'm pissed because I stood there before her. She cut me in line and she did that. Or there wasn't a line. She kind of B-wayed, like she made it obvious she was getting in front of me, and they took care of her right away. Now, as they took care of her, I start grabbing my items, and the guy goes, "Oh, are you finished? Do you need anything else?" And I'm like, "Oh," I said, I'm not finished, actually. I mean, you took care of her before me, so I'm just going to take my time and grab what I need. And then he looks at me, and then she kind of looks, because I spied her whole personality. I was like, I see you, crazy woman. I know you're crazy. I saw that you knew what you were doing. I see the whole thing. Okay? Because this is New York. When craziness happens, we all have like inner conversations with the people we're hating. We do it all the time. We're like, I hate you. You hate me. We're not saying it. We're trying to be cool right now, but you cut me. I know you cut me. You knew they took care of you because you're a white woman and they felt safe with you. And I have a problem with this. But I didn't make it too big of a deal. She went like this, and I was like, don't engage with me, motherfucker. Then I went over.
You better listen.
Got my microgreens. And then I said, after she walked away, I said, listen, I'm just going to tell you guys, because they were nice guys. I go, listen, I gave you eye contact. I was standing here for a while.
Oh my God.
I gave you eye contact. I was standing here for a while. She got in front of me. She grabbed the items, and you took care of her first. I'm just saying, look, just be aware of what you're doing. Okay.
I don't know. Are you positive it was? I mean, first of all, were you wearing your Friends Like Us t-shirt? Because that would have scared me too. But
I forgot to put that on.
When I was on my way in Connecticut, that happened to me at a Dunkin' Donuts, but everybody was white. So I was like, why'd you take this guy? He just walked right in. And I started after the guy, later. So, I mean, are we positive it was definitely a race thing? I'm only just asking.
I would say that they will be positive about it from this. I didn't make it. I didn't tell them it was a race thing. I told them it was them not being aware of what was happening. So if it was, or if it wasn't, they now know. When Marina Franklin comes there, they better give me eye contact.
I don't know why they don't know that anyway. So I don't know why you would continue to go there. Everyone knows when Marina Franklin comes in. It's like Todd Barry, like you have to make sure Todd gets food, or if you're with him, and you have to make sure he's happy because you don't want any trouble.
Yeah, a teaching moment. That's right, Tibby.
Right.
It is a teaching. And then you think it was over? Like, and I was really nice with them. You know, I wasn't doing all this. Someone said, "Where's Von DiCarlo at?" Because I got all like, you know, black and stuff. But the thing is afterwards, I was like, you know, you guys are great. I love your products. And then I went and got flowers. And this woman was on the phone. She's on the cell phone. Spanish woman, you know, so it's not a white black thing, whatever. She's on the phone and she's having a full-on conversation while I'm selecting the flowers that are actually behind me right here.
And
right?
is she talking in Spanish?
No, but with an accent.
Right, because they're so loud.
Well, I'm not going to say that.
Who would want to have a conversation like that loud on the phone with somebody, a personal conversation? I just don't understand.
She was having a full-on personal conversation.
Yeah, I don't get that.
Now, the guy is servicing me who's getting the flowers, and I'm asking him about the type and how much. And she, while on the phone, goes, what are those? And I'm like, no. You don't get to have a personal, loud-ass conversation and then interrupt the guy who is servicing me. That sounds kind of kinky.
It does sound right.
The guy who is providing me service, you don't get to come in and interrupt that with. And get this, he actually started to answer her, and I was like, is it me?
Well, see, that's the thing, Marina. I feel similar, completely similar. But do you think we're just older and we think that way, or is that because I think it's rude? I think it's rude.
It's so rude, and and then after that, when she stopped, you know, and he stopped, and I said, "You better know, you better get that, okay, for me." I was like, and I said, he's working with me right now. Okay. Now, after that, she then walks over to me. It's like she didn't hear me. And she goes, how much are these flowers? Not the ones I was getting.
Well, that's actually okay. In a sense, she just is in another world. At least
not yeah, I know, right? Not the ones I was getting. She was asking me about some other random flowers. And I was like, I don't work here. Okay. I don't work here. The list for the prices is right here. But then I started working. Because I did know everything. I was like, actually, I don't work here, but the list of the prices are right along here. Anyway, I'm done with my rant. I was just like, you're right. I was so like, I kept thinking to myself, is it me? Or is it because I haven't had my hormonal tea? And then on top of that, I was having a hot flash. And I kept telling them, I was like, it's so hot.
I don't know, Marina. It's there's a thing about people on their phones that is, you know, we didn't grow up that way, and it does get frustrating. And I have a rule. I have a rule that right. So it's just a selfish thing. I have a rule when I'm on the street and I'm talking on the, and a lot of times I'll talk before I go in my house, like right outside my building, because I like to not be talking on the phone when I go past the door guys, because I, you know, have a relationship with them, so I don't want to be that person. So I will stand on the phone. A lot of my neighbors come out and I'll talk to them. But so if I see somebody I know, I get off the phone, because the live person should always take precedence in this world. That's the way I feel.
Yeah. That is true. People on the phone.
I'll call you back. I'm here with a live person now. It's the most important thing.
Because it's also rude. I've had that several times. The person who's been on the phone with you, they're like, hello. I don't want to hear like how you have your exchange with another person.
Right.
They don't want to hear it.
Call you back. Right.
Some people really want you to hear like their interactions with other people.
I don't understand that either. It drives me insane.
What about you, Evelyn? Are you annoyed by anything? You seem like you're pretty chill.
Yeah, she is chill.
Pretty chill. I mean, I mean, like in the situations that like if like that had happened to me, like I think I'm just so mild mannered. I'd be like, oh yeah. Get in front of me.
She might be used to it. She grew up with it. It might be different. I wonder if there's anything to
in my head, I would be like in my head, I'd be having like you said, like the full on like, oh, I hate you, but would still let them do it. But
right, there's a selfishness to it. But you think about it, Marina. Evelyn grew up where, you know, if you're going to meet somebody, it was really easy. She doesn't understand what it was like for us when we would meet somebody somewhere and be like, well, all right, if you don't show up, I'll just assume you're dead because there's no other way to contact you. You know, like I don't know how we used to meet for events at Madison Square Garden, how you met people before cell phones, before texting. I don't remember.
That's the thing. I think about a lot. Like, I would definitely not be able, like, at least when I first moved here, like, not be able to navigate like the New York subway system without like Google Maps on my phone. Like, I don't know how anyone did that before.
What we can't remember. That's the funny thing. Like, we, even whenever, if you're my age, you're so still addicted to your phone. It's fascinating because you want to be like, I used to go around without it, but I don't remember how we got along or how we did anything without smartphones.
Yeah.
Well, we used to tell people, the Dairy Queen on that corner, make a right there.
Oh, that's it, right. With directions, that's the most hilarious thing. There's nothing better than being like, where do you live? You give somebody the address and you could drive there. But what there would be the people that would write down the directions on a cocktail napkin, and they'd be they'd really make like, this is my house, and they'd make like the smokestack and stuff like, like this isn't necessary. And then they'd be like, now you're gonna get to the fork in the road. Now don't take it. Just don't even look at it. That's always the first. And then they'd be like, now there's it's a building and it looks like a marshmallow. I mean, Evelyn, you cannot understand how horrible it was to listen to people's directions as they would tell you how to get to where they were. It was awful.
My friend Isis, which is my actual friend, I don't have like a religion or anything like that. But I went out to visit her at Michigan City from Chicago. And when I got out there, she knew that the directions on the GPS would mess up. And when I got out there, I was like, I know her so well that she likes to experience people struggle. And I was like, you knew that when I got out here, that the GPS was going to do this to me. So where do you live? She was like, I told you. You didn't tell me anything. I'm at the wrong address. It looks like they could come out and shoot me. Please give me your address.
That's right out of Crazy Rich Asians, my favorite movie.
Oh, really? That happened?
Yeah, you ever see with Aquafina and the lead girl? They're going to her fiance's grandmother's house, and it goes off the GPS. It says we're right here, and then these like security guards, they have the old rifles with the muskets and stuff come out. They're like, he's going to shoot us. There's another one. There's another one. It's the same thing because it's off the GPS map. I'm like, where the hell does ISIS live? That's off the GPS map.
It was taking me to like a private beach. Like a private home, because it's beautiful out there. It's like a beach town. I'm going back actually. Michigan City.
But in Michigan.
In Indiana.
In Indiana.
Which I would never like.
I didn't even know there were beaches there.
Well, it's a lake.
Oh.
But it's a beach. The sand is water. People go. They have, if you saw it, you would think you were in like California or Costa Rica. It's really crazy how I did not know it existed. I've lived in Chicago my whole life. I had no idea it was like just 40 minutes.
Is it one of the Great Lakes? Like it's off one of the Great Lakes?
Lake Michigan.
Lake Michigan. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know anything about the Midwest. I've just never, ever been there I've never been anywhere except Jersey.
Well, it's beautiful. And it's like when I got there, Isis was like, look, it looks like COVID never even existed with these people. Look at them. And it was like, it was like that episode of The Twilight Zone where the guy wants to get off the train. I forget, Mulberry Street. Is it Mulberry Street?
Yeah, I know what you're talking
I think that's the name of the episode.
Yeah, and he wants to get off the street, and it's like, it's like cul-de-sacs and people, fathers playing with their kids. It was just like that. And I was like, this is beautiful. This is heaven.
Like in WandaVision. I only have TV and movie references as well.
Yeah, and people can only drive go-karts. Like you can only go like 5 miles per hour. And it's like, everyone is so happy. And it was so beautiful. And then she gave me the wrong address.
I hate her.
Well, and then she left me at this park. And I kept wanting to scream.
Left you? What would you do? What kind of friend is this? She tells you wrong directions to get there and then leaves you at a park? What's
going on here? Let's see, Randy, who I've never seen before. Randy, where are you from? You're the first one here that I've seen that I haven't seen before. So tell us where you're from. Let's be solution oriented.
I think he's talking about that lady on the phone.
Oh, loudly and publicly shame. I love that he's using cap locks. You are my friend, Randy. Loudly and publicly shame humans that lack basic empathy. LOL. That's the real issue here. Some people have no capacity for empathy.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's true.
Oh,
True. And just
thank
feel
you.
really entitled.
Yeah, that entitlement.
Mm-hmm.
Where did that come from? Who, what kind of, where do you grow up? I'd like to grow up that way and feel entitled. I'd probably be more successful.
LA to Chicago. Yeah.
Coast to coast. That's funny.
All right. Yeah. So yeah, what were you saying? We were talking about like, I forgot.
We're talking about directions and ISIS, and then.
Oh yeah. So she gets to we go to the flower, the botanical gardens, and I'm doing maybe she was annoyed because I was doing a live stream on Instagram, but then she disappeared, and I can't scream her name.
Oh, that's right.
I can't go ISIS.
Is anyone from ISIS here?
I couldn't scream her name. I started to, and I go, oh,
ISIS. I love ISIS.
And I text her. She wasn't answering her text. I was like, where are you?
Was she mad at you for live streaming? I mean, is she one of those people that you became that woman you were just talking about and was like, I can't handle this if Marina's going to do this.
It's not even.
Pay attention to me, because I know she's pay attention to me. So maybe
it may have been a little bit of that, but it was also like she had to go to the bathroom.
Well, that I can understand for the end.
But she left me there alone. She left on her bike. We rode our bikes there. So then thank God I have a spatial map, which means I remember directions, because I had to ride the bike by myself back to her house.
Oh my God.
What are you hanging out with this girl for? All I've heard is bad things. I haven't really heard anything great.
And I was like, where are you? She's like, I had to go to the bathroom. Well, why couldn't you have texted me? Let's go. I mean, what is wrong with you?
There is something wrong with her. First of all, change that first name, obviously. Nowadays,
I know. So,
which is so sad because there used to be a Saturday morning cartoon show called Oh Mighty Isis, and that girl was so hot, and it was a great name.
It is a great name. It's a beautiful.
Now they ruined it. Yeah, it's a great name. That's not her real name, though, right? Isn't it derived from
her
something
full
else?
Name is Anna. ENA. Anna.
It's worse, actually. Yeah, you're right.
Anna Isis. Anna Isis is an actual full name.
What kind of name is that?
It's a very popular name, actually. Anna Isis Figueroa.
Well, like what kind of nationality? What kind of nationality name?
Puerto Rican.
Really? Never heard of that before.
Anna. I always say it wrong though. I say it wrong. Her sister's got a beautiful name too. Ariadna. Ariadna.
See, now that to me sounds like the name of the queen in Coming to America.
Ariadna?
It sounds something like that. Where what's the guy who was the father? John Amos said like, "Oh, what a beautiful name." It was something hard to pronounce. It was African.
Ariane.
It was from Zamunda.
ISIS needs to be iced out, sis.
Yep, I've said that for years. I don't know why she's still hanging out with her.
She's my best friend.
How is that possible? I've met her multiple times. She doesn't seem like she's anybody's best friend. She's her own best friend.
I've known her for so long. I'm so used to these things. But on this, in certain days, I'm like,
well, I guess I'm friendly with Dave Attell like that forever too.
Exactly. We have crazy friends.
I'll never be able to not love them.
Tony Woods once said, "You can tell about a comic by the friends they have." It's very true.
Sense. That's the only reason I get work. If my friends weren't you and other, the people would never hire me.
Is Sarah Silverman having? Can I mention her thing, or am I not allowed to talk about it?
What thing?
The party.
Oh, is she having? We just talked about it on Saturday because we were together.
Can we say it? Can we talk about it on here or no?
About her party or the one that? Do you know that she's having one? Because
no, about the fact that she has one every year.
Oh yeah, totally. Mark Maron mentions it on his podcast. Remember that was great.
So Sarah has like this rooftop party every year, and I've been invited to it. And one year I finally was able to go, and I got too high, and Jessica was like, "I told you not to do that."
It took me. Oh, geez. Well, the party started where it was a birthday party for me. And now it's like, I'm lucky if I'm invited. It is, Evelyn, Marina, it's impossible to explain. It's like, if you ever wanted to meet any of your comedy heroes, they're all at this party. It is
Ron Howard, right?
Oh, wow.
Right. So it finally took me till the last time we were together before COVID, I guess 2019, where I said, don't get high anymore, for Christ's sakes. You understand? She's always like, hey, did you get to meet Diane Keaton? I want you to meet her. And I'm like, I saw her and I was too high. And and it happens all the time. Like, hey, I wanted to introduce you to Larry David. He was here, but I was like, yeah, I was too high. I couldn't. Like every time this.
I was too high, and Diane Keaton was on the elevator with me.
You, yeah.
And I was already high, and I couldn't turn around. Yeah. I mean, and because I knew I wasn't dressed. She's very stylish, and I thought she was criticizing my outfit.
So just
no, and the problem is, Evelyn, is that they have a pot bar. Like, the goal is to get high. Remember they have a bar where the bartender's like, what would you like? I'll roll it for you. I mean, it's sick.
Heaven. It's heaven.
Yeah, it's heaven, and it's legal. And that's why, even Cory Booker can be there, because pot is legal. So it's completely acceptable. Something, a senator could not have attended many years ago. But I mean, everyone's there and you're supposed to get high. But then I finally realized only last year, and I've probably been going to this thing for 10 years. I'm like, all right, I'm not doing it this time.
I agree. Marina does need an animated series.
We know that.
Where I get fights.
But so this party, it's so funny. So Mark Maron on his podcast after the party, it was great. I was listening. It was so funny. He's saying, oh my God, this party is sick. I mean, everyone was there. And he goes over, and I don't know, Marina, I think you were in it. So he goes, this is the list. I'll never forget it. I was listening, and he goes, everybody's there. Rob Reiner was there. Larry David, Diane Keaton, Dave Juskow. Well, you probably don't know Dave Juskow, right? So he says my name, like right after
I talked to him when I was there, yeah.
And he mentions me and Todd Barry, and I think you. But it was funny because, like we get the mention, which is a miracle. But after these people, he goes, well, you probably know those guys. There needs an explanation after. But he was excited to see us as much as he was excited. And that's the other thing. There's all these comics we've known for years that we also don't get to see. So it is this
Chelsea Peretti. I got
Chelsea. Yes, Chelsea's been there for years. So I always get into fights with people.
Did you hear Evelyn? Evelyn like, oh wow. See, they all know, all my assistants, they all know, like Chelsea. They don't know how close I am, which I never talk about it
either. I didn't know anybody was close with Chelsea. She's a tough nut to crack.
Well, she's not nice. Well,
she's like Seinfeld. She's like Seinfeld.
Not with everyone. But
she's not very socially fun.
She is so much fun, though.
Well, once you get to know her, but she's like Seinfeld in the sense that, like, she's very awkward in a social situation. And we've spent lots of time together, talking and stuff. But I don't think she feels about me the way she feels about you or something.
I attached myself to her when I was high for like about an hour.
Well, you're talking about the day that we were there. Think about this again. And Evelyn, I don't know if you're too young, but do you know who Albert Brooks is?
Yeah.
So Marina and I are talking, and we're there with Conan, whatever. And then, this is the thing. You're talking to Conan. I'm like, Conan, we got to talk to Albert Brooks now. Like we have to leave Conan to talk to Albert Brooks. Comes out to us, to me and Marina.
Oh wow.
And
we're having a conversation.
And I'm trying not to be high, and I only had one drink. And he's like, hey, do you guys think I should get back into comedy, like back into stand-up? Remember that? He's like asking us. And we're like, well, yeah, why wouldn't you do it? He goes, I don't know whether I should dip my toe into it or not. Like he's asking us.
He's like, are people sensitive now? I feel like I can't say whatever I want. Remember that?
Yeah. No, it's you can only remember because there's things I'm like, I got to remember this. And then, you move on and you forget that they're talking because you're just in another world.
Wow.
It's so
Conan.
amazing.
By the way, we're bringing up Conan, which is great because this was his last episode was this week. I posted, some pictures of me doing the show. I should have posted the one with us. I'm not done posting, by the way, Juskow. But Juskow always played my security backstage. Right. Actually, one year he was there because Sarah's party didn't happen.
Oh, right. Oh, because her mother died. I was so angry at that. Remember, I was so angry. I'm like, you know what? I don't know. I could run the party. This is bullshit. I flew all the way out here already. She goes like, oh, remember that year Juskow was mad at me when my mother died?
Yeah, he got really upset. And he was like, I spent all this. I came out here. She could have at least told me. I was like, that her mother? Juskow.
Well, she did tell me, but I was like, but the party's still on though, right? I mean, that was 2 days ago.
It was not. No, it was canceled. And he went with me to Conan, and that was a fun set.
I would have done that anyway, probably.
Well, I posted something on my Instagram about how I had these 2 sets, and people were congratulating me like they thought I was going to do it. I was like, did I not write this clear enough?
No, I don't know who would have thought. Everybody was posting last week.
Yeah, but people were like Artie Fuqua, who's like, congratulations. I was like, he doesn't know those.
He lives on another planet.
You're right. I was like, Artie, I did those sets. I was celebrating
I think
Conan.
Everybody that's been on, people that posted like Nick Griffin or Sarah or people that have been on knew exactly what you were doing. I have a feeling, Marina, is that a lot of people don't know Conan was going off the air. I think that's a major issue. That's what it comes down to. I know he has a show because I watch The Big Bang Theory every night on TBS, so I know. But I think a lot of people didn't know he still had a show.
How do you feel, Evelyn? Did you watch Conan? How do you feel about the show leaving, or were you ever a fan? Or
I didn't watch. Okay, so I watched mainly like clips of like Conan from when he did late night. I only really kind of got back into it because like his show on TBS, because a friend of mine was a writer on the show. His name is Skylar Higley. He's really funny, a young comic out of Chicago. I think he's moving to LA soon. But yeah, so because of him, I started watching it a little bit more.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I think I don't think people my age, like, because of like the Conan on TBS, like fully understand just like how, I don't know, like fully understand like all of Conan's like career.
I don't think people your age watch late night talk shows. I think that is a dinosaur. All of the late night talk shows are not necessary anymore. When the Tonight Show was on, they were necessary because you could see your movie stars be real people. Now with Instagram and social media, you don't need that anymore.
That's such a good point.
And there's so many commercials, and the audience is always applauding. You can't really get an interview. So it's what's the point?
True. And also because like the dynamic of late night shows are so different. Like Late Night with Seth Meyers, like they have guests, but it's really more of like a political commentary show.
And if it's not a political commentary show, what is it?
What is it? Right.
What's the point?
I mean,
like Trevor Noah's more popular, I would say, right? Am I right about that?
I haven't heard anybody talk about him.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know. That's a good question. I mean, I think people really like Late Night with Seth Meyers. They like his like.
Well, I think there it is, Marina. I think Evelyn just answered our question. They like Late Night with Seth Meyers. Why is that? Because it's a 12:30 show, and that's what Conan.
She was saying, and then you cut her off.
No. But I was just saying, it's interesting that she was saying her generation likes Seth Meyers because it's the late night show. That's how we all caught up with Conan, because he was on after Letterman, and it was hipper. Let alone Letterman.
Is that why, Evelyn?
I don't know. I mean, it's hard. It's really hard to say. I mean, I think with shows like Seth Meyers and Trevor Noah, I'd say is really popular. Like you have like younger comics who are writing on those shows. So like for me, like knowing other like younger comics, like I'm more likely to know writers on the show. So then I'm more likely to tune in.
I see.
And that's the way it was for us too. All of our friends were writing on Conan. Louis and everybody we know was writing on Conan at the time, right? When we were like in the 90s, remember, Marina?
Yeah. Oh, but Ariane.
Yeah, so she didn't know.
She says, I don't have cable, so if it ain't on Netflix or HBO, I don't know. That's another thing.
That's what I think. That's why Conan's leaving. I think he's pretty upset about the way everything went down, let alone the stupid Jay screwing him over in the first place.
What about
because you were on?
Like, I know that, like, I know what happened with that, but anyone younger than me, I'm sure, does not remember or like was too young to know about like Conan getting the Tonight Show and then like having it taken away.
And you have no idea like how the whole thing was, getting the Tonight Show and all that kind of stuff. I mean, it was so huge. And then Marina was a part of it. She was on the rival show.
I was in part of the whole, like, it was the drama because Jay Leno wasn't really gone.
Yeah.
That's the network was like, it was weird. It was like, did we make the right move?
Well, yeah.
And then Jay Leno came back as the Late Show after Conan.
And that's just, the worst part is Marina was on Jay's show, his primetime show, so she had a big juicy spot all the time.
So they had like 30 correspondents or something that they've never had. It was weird. And then
that's the only reason I was watching, just like Evelyn said, because Marina was on.
So we had to do like these pieces, these segments, and I had a segment that would not go viral today, but went viral back then, of me going into this hair salon, this black hair salon in Harlem, because I was saying Harlem was gentrified, and some things don't need to stay the same, like where I get my hair done. And I tried to go to a white hair salon, and he was like, "Oh, I can do this." I was like, "No, you can't." And then I go to a black hair salon, and the women in there, the characters, were so funny, naturally funny, that it it was like its TV version of viral. Yeah. So they had me come back, do another segment with them. I mean, it was just so fun. I mean, some of the things they were saying would not be political. Like, they could not have that on TV.
It was just a bummer that it was on Jay Leno's show.
Yeah, and then his show, they took Jay Leno's show away, and
it was on the 10 o'clock show, right? It wasn't even late night. She was on primetime, right? It was the 10 to 11 show he had every night, right?
Yeah. And then what about the Bodega Boys? Is it Jesus and Mero? I know I'm saying it wrong.
Oh, yeah. Jesus and Mero. Yeah, I haven't watched their show.
I don't know what that is.
Because I think they're on Showtime, I think.
Oh, see, that's the thing, at 8 p.m. That was smart.
Yeah.
I've heard good things about them.
TB said, "I'm going to miss Conan. I get the East Coast feed of TBS, so it was on 8 p.m. I could watch it."
Yeah, that was cool. That was brilliant that they just that was the best part about being on TBS. You could watch it at 8 o'clock.
And TB still watches Sam B. I don't watch Sam B.
I don't watch her because she ruins. I can tell you why, because she is the reason the Big Bang Theory isn't on at that time, because they cut into her. It's awful. They could have an additional
Full Frontal when I was in college, and it was a really fun experience. I really enjoyed working there. I mean, it's like an interesting dynamic because a lot of the people that I worked with there are like have kind of spread out and are other places now.
Oh, I didn't know you worked there. That's cool.
Yeah, it was a really fun experience. I really enjoyed it. It was also,
where did they film that?
They film so it's like in the CBS building on like 77th.
Oh yes, I know. On the west side, right?
Yeah.
The Samantha Bee show is in New York?
Yeah, they filmed in the same studio that Last Week Tonight films in.
Right.
And I think Larry Wilmore probably. I have a feeling.
Yeah, I think so.
Or was he? No, he was in the 50s or 40s or something like that.
It's just like it's all so close by. Like the Daily Show is like a block away, and then
how is the Daily Show with everyone? I don't feel like
filming at home. Trevor Noah's still at home.
They're still filming at home. Yeah, I think so.
Is the Daily Show as popular as Samantha? Like, I feel like, I don't know why, but I feel like he didn't carry Jon Stewart's show the way Jon Stewart did, or it's not like.
I think like Trevor Noah for a little bit, like kind of tried to like be Jon Stewart on the show, and then like had to, that didn't work, so had to find his own rhythm. And I think he has, and I have watched some of his stuff, and it's like very funny. And like I think the correspondents on the show are really funny, but I don't know if it might be doing better than Full Frontal. I'm not sure.
Yeah, Outside Steve was telling me that Ronnie Chang is still. I know, but Ronnie Chang.
I don't like Outside Steve.
I know you don't, but I was just telling you that he said that Ronnie Chang is still a correspondent on the Daily Show. You know, like he won't leave.
Well, aren't they all? Don't they still have correspondents or no?
Yeah, but Ronnie Chang is a movie star. You know, it's just funny. He doesn't mind being a correspondent. He likes it.
He's so nice, though.
He's
like,
so nice.
Have you met Ronnie Chang? Ronnie Chang is like the most
so sweet.
He's the sweetest guy. He's very like gracious and humble, and he doesn't have a big head. And
that's why I was fascinated to hear that.
Yeah, he's such a nice guy, and he was the one guy that like. I mean, just so you guys know, I don't like outdoor Steve. He works outdoors at the Comedy Cellar. He's a security guard. And so I've known him for years, but I've had one of those like farmer market exchanges with him. just to sum it up. So whenever anyone brings up, and there's like so many Steves that work at the Comedy Cellar, so we label them Outdoor Steve, Indoor Steve, and then there's one that's called Everyday Steve.
Oh, who's Everyday Steve?
Steve in Calabria.
Oh, I thought he was Indoor Steve.
No, he's everyday.
Oh, well, he's not there anymore, or I haven't seen him in a
He's
long
no
time.
longer there every day, but they used to be like, every day Steve is here. But no, he's so good. I mean, I feel like you're right. The late night shows are like
They're unnecessary. They don't need them
There's
anymore.
just so many of them now.
That's
it's
and they're all named
really
Jimmy.
Easy to kind of keep up with them because they were just like a handful, but now there's like just a lot.
But Ant was saying, he's never got into the late shows.
True,
There's no reason to get into it.
Yeah.
They're boring.
So Venus Boy Samantha B's show is too frantic for me. I agree. I'm with you.
I never liked her after she called. I know you don't care, but when she called the president's daughter the C word, it bothered me a lot.
Oh, I thought that was actually funny.
I know. I'm sure a lot of people did, but I thought it was very rude.
Well, here's the thing. That she was a bit contradictory because from what I know, the knowledge that I've had about her with her school in diversity in the school, it's like you can't like be on a TV show and have one point of view and then you don't want diversity in your school, like in your elite private school for your children. So that's where I was like, bye.
You're talking about Samantha B, who didn't want diversity. Wait, she was talking against diversity at her
go ahead, Evelyn.
Children's school?
Yeah, I don't remember all of it, but it was like her and like her husband, Jason Jones. There was like this big thing at like their school. I can't remember what it was, but it was like a fancy school for their kids. And essentially they were like opposing it being more diverse.
Classic.
Oh, because, everything's cool until your kids, may have to get rid of their privilege. So that's where I have a problem.
Everybody's two-faced. That's the problem.
Everybody, even me. TBS should give Marina Conan spot.
Oh my
Absolutely
God, that would
not.
be amazing.
I can't. I have
should totally have a late night show. You know what? You should take that 1:30 slot that they got rid of that Indian girl.
Lily Singh? I thought she was on.
I think it got canceled.
Oh.
In fact,
give Marina her own show.
That would be perfect. You should totally have your own show. You're perfect.
I do. Oh, Amber Ruffin. I love Amber Ruffin's late night show.
I'm doing it selfishly because I was hoping you would have me on. Shit.
I would have you on at the end like Sarah did, or David Tell did, where you were like almost on, but then they they didn't have enough time for you.
Right. Right on the Gong Show.
Oh, I love it. Oh, wait. Oh, there's so many good comments here. Hold on.
You should have.
Saran, the interviews are tightly outlined, but not quite scripted. Jon Stewart and Dave tend to be a bit more freeform than Jay and Conan. Okay. Thank you, Saran.
That's interesting.
Thank you, Ant, for saying this. You're just about the podcast, Friends Like Us. Your discussion about Ellen and her support of female comics in general was eye-opening considering her lifestyle and gender. So we had Jessica Cursed on, who was saying that she wished she had just given more opportunities to female comedians.
Interesting. Very interesting. Well, yeah, you're good point.
Yeah, and if you want, and the interesting thing was we had Aaron Jackson on the show who was like, Ellen had me on. And Jessica was like, "Oh my God, that's great!" But I didn't know that, and it's very rare. There are that's the thing about Conan that was so overwhelmingly clear after he left was how many opportunities he gave to stand-up comedians like me. Right. He was one of those guys that say what you want about him, but he was smart, he was funny. He was kind. He's so brilliant, and
he got it. He got it,
and he understood.
He was very lucky in many ways too.
So he provided a platform for comedians to be comedians on a late night set, whereas like some sets you'll do on a late night show, you feel like you're kind of boxed in. They go over your set.
It's worse than that. Letterman hated comics.
They water it down to the point where it's like
Network told me he had to put them on, and then it just became uncomfortable.
Yeah, and it's so weird, like comics not wanting comics on. I don't like.
Yeah.
What?
Well, that's all. He was very jealous, Letterman.
Boogie Down Bronx is in the house. What up, Hectic? And he's saying, hello, Evelyn Frick and Juskow. What up? So, yeah, that was eye-opening. All for diversity except for letting the poor kids in. That's right, D. That's what. Oh, Dion Cole. What about him? We don't talk about Dion Cole on this show.
That's not that kid from Baltimore, is it?
That's the guy.
Oh shit! How does
Dion
everybody know
Cole's
about
a very
that?
funny comedian. No, they don't know. I just let them know by what my reaction just now. He's a very funny guy.
I had to walk.
It's an inside story. Very funny guy. Very talented. Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah. When we were in LA, see, I'm even more than a security guard.
They want me to split the tea. Oh, most are taped late in the afternoon, except Jimmy Kimmel. Yeah, they are. They're taped in the afternoon and then they air at night, which finishes tape. Yeah.
Jimmy used to be live, and then they got rid of that.
I got most. Yes. There's tea. There is tea, but I can't share it. Let's just say, no, I'm not going to say it.
Well, we could show a picture of his chest.
No, why would you do that?
Because
did you like his chest
all the time? Yeah.
I used to show you his chest.
Show me.
I used to have. Okay, so I used to have a little crush on him. Okay.
Sorry. Well, you remember, I was there for many a night when all this was happening. So
I used to have a little crush. And it didn't really work out. That's it. That's basically the story.
Yeah, we'll just leave it at that.
We'll leave it at that. I think that's a good way to leave it. Evelyn, this is a good time to go to reviews. But before I finish, I do want you all to know how great of a man Conan O'Brien was. I mean, gave me a late night set, Aaron Jackson a late night set, Dulce Sloan a late night set. He gave a lot of Black women late night sets that weren't getting late night sets, by the way. No one was giving us, because the way we talk is very different from the very late night platform, I would say, or the way that we would see it kind of constructed. So that's why I really love the hell out of Conan O'Brien. So big ups to him. And I think he's going to be doing more. He's not saying goodbye. He'll say, I'll see you on HBO. He
also gave a lot of bands you'd never heard of a big start, in that late night time slot. Back in the 12:30, and Sarah was telling me on Saturday, she was like, it's really weird for him to be leaving because he like kind of jump started my career, because he had her on as a panel guest a lot, and I think about it like this: the way David Letterman at that time slot, at the 12:30 time slot, used to have Sandra Bernhard all the time, and it was so weird because like a guy like myself and my friend Lawrence, when we were growing up in Jersey, we went to go see Sandra Bernhard do her one-woman show, which a couple of suburban guys in their 20s would probably never do if it wasn't for for Letterman at the time, which is what I think happened with Sarah, where guys that age were going to see Sarah, a woman, do like Jesus is Magic when she had her live show before she did it, filmed it, all thanks to Conan, because of her appearances on Conan and how funny she was. Really, a boy at those times wouldn't go see a female comic. It wasn't a thing.
Yeah, that's all about TV and what they put out. If they like now, because they're showing more female stand-ups, people are like, oh, I want to see if female comics are funny. I mean,
that took a long time to put together, which is weird.
Crazy.
Yeah. I mean, it's really, I think about this all the time, and I think about how, as unwoke as I am, the one thing that have been kind of consistent is knowing a lot of really funny female comics, from the beginning. And it's just funny how it's taken so long. There was just, Sarah was like the first one who was attractive. Is that horrible to say? They just weren't known to be pretty and funny, and then she just started this. She really is. I know she's our friend, but you can't not say she's a pioneer of comedy. It's amazing, because it's weird because we've known her for so long, but it's true. Mm-hmm. It's fascinating.
And
then all the people that are Evelyn's age now who worship Sarah, who might have become comics because of Sarah. I mean, it's insane. And then, then Marina, later on, people are, come on and they're like, now they're emulating you as well.
I never smashed Dion Cole. I never said that. I never said that. Oh my God, Randy. Your name would be Randy with that comment.
Yeah.
Like Randy Jackson from the Jackson 5.
Look, David offends at least 5 groups each time he is on.
Thank
Much
you.
respect.
I want to hit the Laosian
hard to
people. I
do.
really want to go after that. That's a group that never gets hit on, Laosian people. So they can't drive.
Heck, Texas, our place, Jimmy.
Good.
Either
All
Jimmy.
the Jimmys. Yes, they're all horrible.
Too many Jimmys in late night.
Yeah, it's just so weird that
and
everybody's
it's like
Jimmy.
black folks went off of me when I said I didn't like Monique. There are many black female comics I love. She wasn't. Let me tell you something. Little inside Patrice O'Neal story. You want some tea? Some good tea? Not the. I didn't smash him. Okay. Some insight, but I love the way you put that, because instead of him smashing me, you said I smashed him. Because yeah, I could smash him, but I didn't.
Oh, come on, give us the Patrice O'Neal. That's what I'm.
The thing about Monique. So I was in LA. I'm actually about to do a late night set, or I was doing Byron Allen's show.
Oh my goodness,
that thing.
Talk
that
about a way to take down black people and female comedy.
Oh, because he never really paid us, and then they were like, "You got to pay them." But
worse than that, the show sucks.
Well, people loved it though. I mean,
What?
apparently I did really well on it, and Patrice called me when I was in California. He was like, "You know what? I think you may have a chance at this career." I didn't know. You know, Patrice would give you a compliment while insulting you. He's like, "I didn't think you could make it," because he goes, "I'm watching Monique," and she's like, "Rah! Rah!" And he was just laughing nonstop about her hosting skills, and he was just trashing it. He was just like, "Oh," he goes, "What is she doing?" And I was like, it was just so funny because he called me, and Patrice would always do that. He would just randomly call me to just laugh about someone so hard that was just being too much of a stereotype on TV. And it's just
Monique. We're talking about the woman who's in Precious, right? That's Monique.
Yeah. Oh, you didn't know who? Yes. Mm-hmm.
I didn't know her as a stand-up. I thought she was brilliant in that movie, and then she's just been complaining ever since she won the Oscar.
Oh, she's like, to me, I've always thought she was funny. I mean, I've always liked Monique, but as a host, he was laughing because she was basically doing like that character that I used to do in my act. That he's like, "Oh, honey girl," and then she would fall off the chair. She's like, "No, you didn't, girl." And Patrice was like, "What is she doing?" You know, so
she was being the caricature.
Yeah. He inspired me to do that shake a dang dang bit. Actually,
that's my favorite.
That was Patrice who inspired that, because he was like, you're not going, "Hey girl, how y'all doing?" So Patrice would make fun of me because I didn't do that, and I would try, and then they would say, you don't sound right."
Is it awful that we flew on a plane together once out to LA, and I was nervous because he was so fat that I thought there would be problems with the plane? Is that horrible?
No, it's not hard. Patrice would probably agree with you. That's the funny part.
I mean, I was a little nervous. I'm like, geez, I guess we'll be able to get off the ground, right? I mean,
it is that I did have that moment with Big J Okerson on a windmill one time. Not a windmill. Did I say
Ferris
windmill?
Wheel? A Ferris wheel?
Ferris wheel.
Well, he's not even as big. I mean, Patrice was.
But we were at the top of the Ferris wheel, and I had a moon pie, and I was very high, and and the chair was rocking, and I was like, "Jay's too big for this. This is gonna crash. We're gonna crash. Oh my God."
Those are the only times you think about that. I mean, there are friends and we don't care, but it is funny. You do sometimes think about it when you're doing stuff like that.
So why don't we go to some reviews while we're having such a good time? We have some Friends Like Us reviews of the podcast. Just if you didn't know, that's actually why we do this. We do a podcast. It's called Friends Like Us. It's the T-shirt that Evelyn is wearing right now,
and it is based on the show Friends. I like that. I would like to be on that.
It is not based on the show Friends.
It is not.
It is it's Friends Like Us, because they don't show black people being friends.
They don't?
No.
What about on the show Friends?
Well,
They
the show
had
Friends is
no
also
black.
based on living single.
Wait, they had that girl that David Schwimmer was dating. What's her name? Aisha? No. What?
Say it again, Evelyn.
The show Friends is basically just a ripoff of the show Living Single.
That's right. Which was a black show.
Yeah, was that the one Kim Fields was in? Tootie?
Yes.
Yeah.
And that was
Nikita.
based after. You're right. That was from the late '80s. How rude!
Yeah, they take everything from us.
What's the girl that interviews stuff? What's her name? That was the one black woman that was on it,
Aisha
who was dating Ross. Aisha Taylor, is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's one, and they didn't. I thought they should have let her host the Friends reunion.
Oh, they didn't.
There's another Jimmy, James Corden.
Oh, yeah.
Too many Jimmys.
Yes, too many Jimmys. Yeah, Aisha Tyler. And then so the podcast, just so you know, we do it. It's available on all platforms. It's on Apple Podcasts. It's on Spotify. It's everywhere. It's in the link that's scrolling right underneath us. That sounded freaky too. And then also this week we had on Jessica Curson. We had on Holly Harper, who has her late night show, actually, Hella Late with Holly Harper. So you want to check that out. And we also had on Aaron Jackson. It's on Brick TV in Brooklyn. And next week we have David Allen Greer, Gina Yashere, and then we have hopefully, and we haven't yet nailed it down, but Evelyn, take it. Who do we have coming?
Obama.
I think we're going to have the Secretary of Housing and Urban Development, Secretary Marsha Fudge.
Sorry,
no, but she's like to like Biden, like
no, it's cool. It's just funny because you're just like, and then if we can get them, we have the Secretary of Planning for it's just kind of funny. It's like,
I know,
no, but that's I understand that.
Dave Allen We're also going to have Wendy Liebman on the show.
Oh, I worship her. Oh, is that because I had you too and you thought about her?
I've been wanting to have her on the show, and she's always been amazing.
Did I have anything to do with putting that in your head? Because that would make me happy.
You had a lot to do with that.
Because she is a goddamn living legend. And she is before Sarah Silverman, and she should have been much huger.
Eric Prince's Queen Latifah is doing big things.
Oh, I'm so glad you're having her on, Marina. That makes me
I
happy.
cannot wait. And
people
I'm
need
having
to know
Aaron.
how wonderful she is. I wish I had a show I could put her on every day.
And Aaron Jackson has a great story. Aaron Jackson, who's been on the podcast several times, Black female comedian. If you didn't know, I just want you to know this because it is a woman of color podcast. Every now and then we have a white like Juskow. It's we can only have him like sometimes. You know what I'm saying?
I haven't been on in a while. I'm just saying.
We'll have you on, but we got to endorse it.
Well, I like this
our audience will be like, what? Where does he live?
And I'll do the extra white voice. Now, I understand all of you are of color. Is that the proper term?
Oh, look at this. Okay, Aunt, glad to have you from your podcast. I really enjoy it. You all take care. I gotta run. Well, I don't have to run. I just want to take
nap is my favorite.
Oh, I love Saturday naps. Enjoy it. We're gonna get off soon, so we're supposed to get off in like 2 minutes.
I like to stay forever.
No, we can't. We want to enjoy our day.
I like doing that white cop imitation from Sanford and Son, and always being like, "Hey, man," like trying to be black. That's my favorite imitation.
All right, take it, Evelyn.
Yeah. So this first few reviews are from our Friends Like Us Instagram at Friends Like Us, and they're on responding to the video post of Jessica Curson from this week. So at Nimra the Tiger says, "Love you." At Jessie Curson, "I stand with you against anti-Jewish hate," which is very nice. And then also from Forever Fat Kid, who says, "Love you, Jessica." And then we also had a response to a different Instagram post that said, "I love this podcast," with multiple heart emojis, from our friend Holly Harper, who is on this week, and as Marina said, has her own late night show on Brick TV.
Yeah,
Evelyn is so cute,
isn't she? I love Evelyn.
It's like it just makes you smile when she's about.
Oh, she makes me so happy. Yeah. And she no longer works as my assistant on the podcast, but she's still like my assistant. But on the podcast, she's moved on to bigger and better things as she
Oh,
should.
no, no,
You know.
I wouldn't. I mean, I like my new job, but not bigger and better than Franklin.
Oh, thank you. That's what, isn't she perfect?
She really is.
We had Shannon on, and Juskow ripped her.
She was awful.
She was not awful. He was like, "You need to get someone who can afford better Wi-Fi," because Shannon was like
I was
glitching.
so angry about that. It drives me. It's been a year. Get it together.
Well, initially the first time that Juskow and I were on this one together, I was at my old apartment and my Wi-Fi was bad. But now we pay for.
I get
good-
upset
good
about that
Wi-Fi.
kind of stuff. I just don't understand. It's been a year. You got to, I mean,
Yeah.
how last April did you not put it together that it's going to be a while and get the Wi-Fi, get the good microphone? Drives me insane. I was on a podcast that I didn't know these guys out in Chicago. We were on a Billy Joel podcast. The host had the worst Wi-Fi and the worst microphone. And he had a microphone hanging up here. And I go, is that even on? I mean, what is happening? I was getting so angry and I felt horrible. And then I called him an idiot and I felt bad.
During the Billy Joel podcast.
I know. I'm a Billy Joel podcast. It was awful.
That's really funny.
What kind of idiot?
Production. One thing I've learned about doing my own podcast is it's taught me how to do things on my own and not wait for anything.
Yeah.
So that means like you have to put things together, figure it out, be innovative, but don't wait for anyone to give you anything, and don't wait for anyone to put things out there for people to enjoy. So that's why we do that. We love these conversations. Hopefully the conversation we'll have from, housing, urban development. I cannot wait to have that conversation with her because it's what we've been talking about, like equity, sharing the equity instead of being like that person. Now, I do want to talk about this. There's a new fossil.
Hey,
I
right
saw
here.
that.
How dare you? I'm like sitting right here. All right, I'm not the greatest person.
There's a new fossil. I want to share this screen real quick.
This is the one with the new missing link thing? Is that the
yeah. Meet Dragon Man, everybody.
Is it a picture of me? Is it a picture of me? Because I swear to God, I'm going to get angry.
It kind of looks like you.
Son of a...
Hold on.
Dragon Man will continue. Oh my God, it does look like me. Even the
Look
muscle.
at meet Dragon Man. I mean, I just think that is so crazy that... Look
Dragon
at his,
Man will
his
continue
head.
in a moment.
We used to look like this, basically.
He was a big guy somewhere around 50 years old when he died. Wait, is this me? Hold on a second. Let me just...
It could be easily.
Isn't that fascinating? Right. I know they've been looking for the one that doesn't look like anything else to the one that looks like Dan Natterman. Oops. Okay. I'm just kidding. But boy, he looks muscular and awesome.
Yeah.
I just wish I looked like the missing link. Yeah.
I love this person. Stace is asking you to not interrupt Evelyn. Okay, Dave. Now, Stace, we've never seen you on here before, but
too low.
My mic?
No, Evelyn's. That's why it's hard to hear sometimes.
So Stace, but you're right, Stace. No one's disagreeing with you, but everyone else knows this is what Juskow does. He loves to just this is his moment. And Evelyn understands it. I understand it. We forgive you, Juskow. Is what
I'm so bad. On my own
Stace
podcast.
is like, listen, would you let the girl talk?
Sorry.
That's what you get when we're live streaming. You get truths.
It's all right. I deserve it.
And someone says, stop, bro. They're coming for you. They're coming for you, Dave.
What's broke shaming?
I don't know. You broke shame someone. I don't know.
They're making fun of me being poor. Wait,
look,
how could they know?
And she says, no hard feelings, Dave.
Oh, no,
absolutely
not. No.
I'm
bad. I interrupt. I'm horrible.
Love you. But
coffee.
she probably loves the Dragon Man more.
Who doesn't? It's so hot.
I just find this incredible that we're still figuring out that we didn't come from. Where did we come from?
Yeah. Well, I saw that like in an article that I read, like this laborer in China like found the skull 80 years ago and then hid it in a well. So I think it was because like at the time Japan was occupying part of China and he didn't want the Japanese to handle it. But yeah, it's crazy that we're still learning about where we come from.
Because they would have hid it maybe.
Yeah, or like they might have gotten like the credit for like saying that like, I don't know, it came from Japan or whatever. I'm not sure. But yeah, it's so fascinating, this kind of stuff.
I would have dated
difficult
him.
it is for me to not interrupt. This is like really hard.
I saw you trying.
I'm really.
I was like, Dave is having such a difficult time right now.
What's the matter with me?
I was like, he's trying, but it's not.
I should never have.
I could hear you talking even when you weren't talking.
It just fits with you.
Broke shaming because he was snapping on her Wi-Fi. That's
that is okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Well, get with the program.
It's amazing that politics plays into like our. See, that's why we were talking about this week about critical CRT race,
race
theory and teaching, like what actually is our American history is also slavery and things that actually, I mean, they have no problem making 1,000 movies about slavery, but Do
you want to know something funny? I had no idea what Juneteenth was.
You're not the only one.
It was last Saturday, and on Friday, I had just found out what it was. I thought it was a gay pride day. I had no idea. And then when I found out I read it in the Post that day. If I hadn't gotten the paper, I never would have known. And I was like, that's a great idea. Because I thought it was going to be like, oh, what is this holiday? But this is something we should have done years ago. I am all in on marking the day. It's so much better than a Columbus Day holiday or something of the day. It makes so much sense.
Well, Juneteenth is about how slaves were free for 2 years. They didn't tell them they were free for 2 years. And then on June, they finally told them 2 years later.
I heard what was that? There's
a lot of time.
A lot of stories like that. Yeah. Where they didn't tell people. Yeah, right. I've heard those kind of, isn't that awful?
Yeah. Yes. And Stace is saying the combo on CRT was spot on. Yeah. Because, and then we had someone try to tweet at Holly, who was talking about it on the show. If you go to our Twitter, some guy was trying to come for her. And she was like, is it
going to be an actual holiday? Will you get the day off of work? Is it the banks closed? I know it was on a Saturday this year, but is that the plan? Because I don't want another nonsense holiday. Make it either a holiday or don't.
No, I think it will be, because my company that I work for, because it was so like last minute, like they announced it was a federal holiday like a few days before, like that Friday, my company, we finished the day early, but some companies like actually got the day.
So why don't they make it like a Monday holiday, like MLK or President's Day or something like that,
Yeah.
So here's Holly talking about what if we approach critical race theory the same way we approach math and sex ed, and Holly explains it in the clip, go through the whole, okay. Oh, I should probably turn the sound on. Oh, did I not share the sound?
No.
How old is she? I never met her before.
She's old. She's like around my age.
Really?
Which we don't disclose here.
She's gorgeous.
She is beautiful.
She married?
But yes, David. Yes.
To a white guy?
Someone tried to come at her. No, he's a black guy.
Oh,
why do you want it?
One of the comments was like saying like, why don't we just not teach kids like Marxist, racist?
He's like, what if we just? Can you see that?
Yeah.
Yeah. What if we just
indoctrinate children with racist Marxist ideology?
Marxist ideology. And I loved Holly's reply. Nice try. It's like education is so necessary on some. We were also talking about why it's important to, talk about the Holocaust, so these things don't happen again. Right. I mean, that's the key. Now, I think there's an argument to be said for these teachers don't know how to teach it, or they don't understand it, or the parents don't understand what is going to be taught. Mm-hmm. There's just so much like defensiveness going on that no one's really having you got to have these conversations,
Well, when I was in school, I remember they were like, well, if you can teach about this, how come you can't teach about whatever Hitler was, that kind of stuff. They're like, why can't you teach that or whatever? But, then how do you pick and choose?
Believe it or not, Texas, DJ Eric Prince who's always here. Thank you, Eric.
Yeah, I think,
believe it or not, Texas was not the only state given reparations.
Was the only state.
Was the only one. Well, apparently from the suburbs of Chicago, they're trying to give reparations right now in Evanston.
I don't know whether that's I get that, but we can't go back in time.
Yes, we can. I need that money. Give me that money, motherfucker.
They did reparations after the Holocaust. Like Germany did.
Everyone else did. That's the point.
Is that right?
Yes. And see, that's why you have to teach this stuff in schools so people know not to say what you just said, Juskow. If they knew that people were actually given reparations, like in Native Americans actually they got casinos. I mean, it didn't help.
You're right. I didn't think about that. You're absolutely right.
So if you have this information, if you know this stuff, then you could go, oh, well, that is kind of messed up.
Isn't it funny? I'm the perfect person to always have in your pocket because I am learning as I'm going. You teach me things that that Juneteenth thing, I should have known. And I just found, how do you find out about that the day before?
I didn't know about it either, though. It took me, and it's embarrassing because I'm Black and I should know everything. But the thing is Black history is not taught to Black children. It's not taught to white children. We're all in this where we're not informed. I mean, Tulsa. Yeah. How many of us even knew about Tulsa?
I only knew it from that movie Watchmen on HBO.
A lot of people say that. A lot of people
heard about it.
And the sadness is a lot of people are too embarrassed to admit it. And that embarrassment is not your fault. It's not my fault. It is the fault. It's American education system is horrible. Yeah, and if your parents don't do the job, which my parents were busy, God bless them, but you're kind of left to this education system that leaves out very important details. We can't just read Native Son or Huckleberry Finn and go, I got it. Yeah. And the way they cover it. Yeah. And it's like, you go through these stories and then you talk about race in the classroom, but you got to really talk about what actually happened so that like I said, so we don't, because what we're finding is, and what I've always known is I always hear this argument. Well, I didn't own slaves. So why are you mad at me? And then here's the thing. It's like, look at what we just went through with the pandemic. We see the disparity. We see the there's no equity. It's not fair. Equity is not fair for everyone. We see how there are predatory lenders. We see that we've been put in situations where we don't get good food. We don't get good doctors. We don't get doctors that trust us. We've been experimented on. We live in places where there's food deserts. Now, this does not say that we're not incredible people and we haven't come above that, because we have, despite that fact. But to recognize it and to deal with it is all we're asking for. And that is reparations. So, because when you see that what happened in Tulsa, these were people who this was Black Wall Street. These were people who were like, fine, you don't want to be around us? All right, but we're going to do our own shit. And they came in and killed them. So it's like, no, we're not blaming you. We're just saying, help us. Use your voice, use your privilege to help us. That's it.
Yeah. That was a good rant.
Yeah, it was an excellent rant. I even shut me up. On the flip side, tonight I'm going to Staten Island for dinner.
Oh, gross.
My friends own the restaurant. It's even better. One time I bought this Black girl that lives in my neighborhood. She's really pretty and nice. And I called them ahead and said, listen, I'm bringing my friend and she happens to be of color. Is that going to be a problem? But it wasn't a problem. But I called ahead because I wasn't positive.
Because it's in Staten Island.
I know.
The only time I go to Staten Island is to see Irene. That was it.
Right, exactly. And you've seen what that's like there. It's awful, but
it's like Cop Row.
Yeah. No, I had to make that call, and I felt like an idiot. But you just want to be sure, right? I mean, is that stupid, or I don't know, or am I the racist one? Because
look at this: millions of Mexican Americans were expelled from the U.S. between 1929 and 1936. Is there more? Where can I read that? That is interesting. Bad hombres. Oh God. Reparations. Okay, reparations. Honest FM. Reparations won't fix a wrong that has compounded over years. So one payment will get them off. So one payment will get them off for cheap. That's true, but
Well,
that's
that's
why
what
we
I
have.
was saying. But then when you told me about the Indians, then you're right. I mean,
So you
there
have
is.
to talk about. They have to do something though, and I think talking about reparations gets us in the direction of what needs to really be done. And I think like when we're talking about equity and owning a home and having like and just like rebuilding like areas where there's like structures going through neighborhoods with bad pollution. There shouldn't be like a highway going through a neighborhood where they're getting like exhaust and stuff. There should, like, my joke about having a nice tomato and knowing that white people were coming.
I love that.
Like, I think about that joke and
coming.
all it's honest, it gets such a laugh, but the tragedy of it is it's actually true.
Well, that's why your comedy is brilliant. That's all that's all your jokes.
Well, thank you very much.
No, it's a fact. That's my favorite.
All right, we should get out of here, man.
They're coming.
It's 4:15, Dave.
Do you have to perform this evening, Marina?
Yeah.
Where are you performing this evening?
And I have some Fortnite to play.
Where can we see you this evening?
Oh, are we going out on where I'm next? Well, tonight I'll be at the Stand Comedy Club for 2 shows. That's in New York City. I'm mostly doing shows in New York because, like, I'm just not ready to get back on the road like that. I don't really, I will get there, but I want to really develop this act that I have, and I want to do things different. I'm going to ask both of you. This is a good way to get out.
Sure, we'd love to open for you. Yeah, we'll tour with you. Okay. Oh, I just assumed. Evelyn, weren't you assuming that's what she was going to ask us? Huh.
Look, they're quoting you. They're quoting you. Okay, Marina, you can search for Mexican repatriation. Okay, cool. I'm gonna check that out. Bye, D. But I do want to ask you guys, what have you done differently? Like, do you feel like you've gotten out of the pandemic that you want to do different? I'll ask you first, Evelyn.
Yeah, that's a really good question. I mean, I think over the pandemic, so last spring we saw like the pandemic and then also like this huge like social justice movement with like George Floyd like kind of explode at like the same time. And so a lot of like the like work and like activism that I was doing was mainly financial, just like donating to like a bunch of places. But now that like I'm vaccinated and feeling like more comfortable, like I do want to be doing more like in-person type like like activities, or like being able to help, like whether that's with like if there are marches or just like volunteering at like a food bank or whatever, like in this community, because now I'm living back in Brooklyn full time. Like I want to be like giving and helping and supporting the community that like I'm actually living in. So I think that's
Marina,
like
she's pulling your leg.
Well, you could also, with Imagine Society, which Dave Juskow has been a part of, we do a lot of like things. We help, like right now we're helping out mothers who had babies during the pandemic, mothers who are living in shelters, and this weekend we're giving them like baby shower gifts.
Oh, that's really sweet. Yeah,
one of the babies.
I would love that.
Yeah, so if any, we'll do an event and I'll let you know about it, and you can come and check it out and see if you want. I mean, the only thing about Imagine Society, I know Juskow agrees with me, is it's a little Catholic slant going on, but there are other people and other like with a Muslim woman, and we're trying to, I told her you need to include everyone, and that's why I'm there, and so it's really
based in kindness.
Yes.
But
absolutely.
Now I went to the fireworks store on Thursday and I bought a shitload of fireworks for the 4th of July. So I'm back, baby. What's up, Pennsylvania?
No, we were talking about how
we
were talking about how you changed and what we were doing.
Yeah, I didn't get to go last year because of the pandemic. So I bought $500 worth of fireworks, and that's not even enough.
Oh my God.
Everything was half off.
Fireworks, by the way, on the Nextdoor app, we're all talking about it.
Oh my God, they've been going off so much recently.
It's not as bad though. I don't know if it's not as bad because I am not stuck inside. But last year was insane.
Well,
Oh my
I
God, it
bought
was
2 cases
everyone.
of The Wizard of Oz, AH. It's a great
Oh
one.
my God.
Shoots really high, and there's a big finale at the end. I wish I was kidding.
Eric Prince said, "When I leave the house, I'm wearing a mask forever." I still wear a mask. I agree.
me
I'm
too.
with
I
you.
love not wearing the mask. I'm so happy it's over. But I do like wearing a mask in certain situations.
Yeah, I still wear a mask because I know about that variant don't sound good.
No, it does not.
No, and you can thank some of the people I know that will not vaccinate themselves, and it's really annoying.
Oh my
We
God.
know some people. There's some people that have actually been on our podcast who are not big vaxxers, and we had Zainab talking about it on this
It's very
live stream.
selfish.
Actually,
Very selfish.
well, I mean, she has an explanation that I don't attack people who don't want to get vaccinated because that way they don't really respond to that anyway, so it doesn't work. But there are ways. New York Times did a great article about how to deal with people who just don't want to get vaccinated. It's
Well, the
crazy.
problem for me is there's members of my family that won't do it, and it's very frustrating.
Yeah, I don't know, because that Delta variant is like
Exactly, and it's coming because these people don't care about their fellow man, I think. I mean, I know that sounds horrible, and I didn't want to get the vaccination. I don't get flu shots, and I didn't want it, but it's kind to do to others to help. I don't know. I guess
Look at this. Someone's trying to advertise on our stream.
Yeah, no.
Want to become famous? Buy Fowler's Press. Like, get out of
Really?
here. How do I
I do want to become famous. What do I got to do?
Oh, that's on my Twitch. No one ever talks to me on my Twitch page, so that's why that came through.
What was that? Because I want to be famous.
No,
Can you send it to me?
you will not
you
be famous.
sure?
What you will get though is like spammed, and you probably get hacked, and they'll probably steal money from your account.
Oh, good luck.
There's a double Delta now.
Oh, I think it's called like Delta Plus.
What's that?
God.
Like the airline?
No, it's like the variant. Another
Oh,
strain.
right, the variant. Yes.
Mhm.
Good time.
Anyway, guys, we
Yeah.
got to get out of here. We had so much fun with you today. Dave Juskow and Evelyn Frick was here. Juskow, tell our listeners, our viewers, where they can find you.
Well, every Tuesday at 7:00 on YouTube, I do a show through the Comedy Cellar. This week, I have Greg Fitzsimmons and Rachel Feinstein on the show at 7:00 live on YouTube. And then this Thursday, on July 1st, I'll be at the West Side Comedy Club. It's called 5 Comics and Dave because I'm not good.
Evelyn?
Yeah, you can find some of my written work on so alma.com. Is what I write for, and then also I write for Reductress, so you can find some of my stuff on there. I haven't started, my next show that I'm doing is July 28th, but I'm sure more dates will come up before then, so
he's got that right.
I will be posting about that on social media.
Nice. Yeah. Eric is telling you what you'll be doing.
I know.
So
and I have that third machine I got to put together by next time I'm on.
It has been lovely being with all of you. Do not forget to check out the Friends Like Us podcast, and please leave us a review. All of you here, you're here every week. Leave us a review so we can shout you out and tell more friends to check us out. You guys have a lovely Saturday. Enjoy it. Be safe. Wear your mask. Get vaccinated. If you don't get vaccinated, no judgment, but kind of. And Black Lives Matter. That's right. Well, yes.